My name is Christian Houborg. I'm working for an amazing company in Denmark called Fujifilm Biotechnologies. I'm Senior Vice President of the Danish operations of Fujifilm Biotechnologies. We have a very, very big site north of Copenhagen in Denmark. It's an amazing site with a lot of skilled employees, but also a lot of operations and a lot of stainless steel. It is the biggest site of its kind in Europe, and we have plenty of capacity in terms of growing with the customers we serve and the partners we serve. Denmark have been through an amazing development, the Fujifilm site in north of Copenhagen. When I joined the site 7 years ago, we were 700 people and we were operating a relatively small facility. Still at that point in time, one of the bigger ones in Europe, but since then we have just grown tremendously. We have doubled the number of bioreactors we have in operations. We have put in a filling line capability, and we can now serve our customers end to end, so we can do drug substance, drug product, assembly, label and pack, and all associated activities in terms of QC, for example. So it's a site that can actually do everything for our partners. The team in Denmark has very, very long and extensive experience in running large-scale operations, and also in terms of bringing in new products. Not that many years ago, we were an innovator, and then we became a part of the Fujifilm family. And since then, we have brought in a lot of new programs, a lot of new partners, and we have developed a speediness around taking new products in that are very, very remarkable. One thing I like to mention here is that we have done 10 PPQs, the last 18 months, which is quite an achievement by the team. And then in the history of the site, we've actually done 30 successful PPQs, never lost a PPQ campaign on the site. So strong teams, strong science base, a lot of very, very skilled engineers, but the most important thing is, from our point of view, is not the skills, it's how we bring the culture together and how the teamwork is working and how we interact with our partners in terms of solving things together and being fast and speedy in terms of bringing in new products. One thing I can assure you is that we will not be the limiting factor in terms of how fast you can do a tech transfer into the site. If you can make it happen, we can make it happen together. It's not about choosing Fujifilm Biotechnologies Denmark, it's about choosing the right ecosystem to work with. And one of the very special things about our network is that it is truly a network of the same capabilities. So if you take the Danish site and the Holly Springs site, where we're building exactly the same capabilities as we have in Denmark, these sites are identical clones of each other. We call them identical twins. In reality, you're thinking, oh, we can work with a strong site in US, strong site in Europe. But it's not just two sites, it's actually, we have 5 drug substance factories at the location in Denmark. We will have 4 drug substance factories at the location in Holly Springs. So you're actually working with 9 of these factories because we're going to have 36 20K bioreactors, which is impressive. But the way we're operating these 9 factories are exactly the same. So in that sense, there is no network on the planet that will give you more flexibility than our network. Because once you're into one of those, what we call 4-packs, then you actually have access to 8 others. because it's easy to tech transfer into new 4-packs, because it's the same bioreactors, it's the same setup, it's the same way of operating it. This is really, really unique. So that's one part, the uniqueness of our network. And you can then even couple the 20K bioreactors with our ability to scale up from our 2K facilities. So we are extremely good at scaling up from any scale to 20K. Something we would love to share more details on with our partners. But so you have the uniqueness of the network. And then on top of that, we put a people and culture approach that are really, really remarkable in terms of trusting that people is the difference. When you come in and work with us, you're not working with a company, you're working with individuals, you're working with people. So we put the people in the center of everything we do to create the best teamwork you can imagine at the sites, across the sites, but also across with our partners. So the uniqueness of the network and the fact that we're building these 4-packs in combination with the strong people and culture approach. Then you can take other elements like our focus on making our facilities green. The Danish facility is a model facility in terms of how efficient we work with energy consumption, water consumption, and we are EcoVadis gold medal certified, and we are aiming for making the site 100% neutral in the early 30s. Likely the world will kind of regionalize more going forward. Our way of positioning our network and the investments we made a couple of years ago, where we invested heavily in Denmark and Europe, and then heavily in our US footprint in terms of Holly Springs, but also our Texas facility, and we have also invested a lot in our UK facility. But this network actually enables us to benefit from the geopolitical situation, where we can offer a very, very unique flexibility and agility. So you can get sources out of US, you can get sources out of Europe. And here you benefit from the way we have designed the network, this COJO-X approach, where we have the same bioreactors and the same setup across the Atlantic. So once you're in one of the facilities, you actually get the second supply chain for free and with no risk in terms of transferring over. This is very, very unique. Also, if you compare it to competitors, our network is unique. So that's a very important thing to have these days when the world is changing.